Welcome to Recovery Report Live. I'm Dan Odess, CEO and founder of GlobalPro, where we've managed more than $1 billion in loss and recovery, as well as managed the placement of insurance for thousands of business owners and community associations alike. I'm joined by Matthew Sengsourinh today. Welcome, Matt.
Hello. How are you?
Great, man. Having a special episode right here at the Art of Hip Hop during Art Week, a big event that goes on in Miami every single year. A lot of people descend on the area. There's tons of events going on. I mean, this city is crazy. The traffic is insane. But we're here in the studio, Nucleus Hub, right in Wynwood at the Art of the Hip Hop. They do bring you this little special broadcast. But the reality of it is that in our show, we're talking about insurance information you can use. The reality of it is no matter where we sit or where we do this broadcast or how we talk about it, really, the issues continue to persist and kind of continue to be the same. But give us a little sense of what's going on in the market right now. We're in December. We're heading to the end of the new year. Is it getting better in 2025, or is it more of the same from 2024?
Well, it depends on what market you're talking about. If you're talking about insureds and the insurance market for them and placing insurance is very, very difficult. It's very hard. Insurers are making more money than ever, so for them it's pretty good. So that's unfortunately the imbalance that we're seeing right now in the market. And after these. After the incredible 2 months that we've had post these storms, and people forget about Debbie, was a month before that too. I always forget about that too, but or 2 months before that, whatever. But you know,
seems so long ago.
Yeah, I know, it seems so long ago. You know, the insurance companies are up to their old tricks. You know, it's the same playbook. It's just new faces, new names, but it's the same notebook they give you when you go work for an insurer and you have to read up and get orientation done and understand your job, right? It's the same thing. So unfortunately right now, we have a very hard market that's persisted for a couple of years, and we've had back-to-back massive storms that hit after another storm hit the state of Florida, and the ramifications of all the changes that we've seen, all the reasons why the market is so hard is coming to bear now. It's unfortunate, and it feels like the Band-Aid was ripped off because of these two storms, you know? So we're here.
No, and I think for 2025, what we forecast on going forward, we're seeing a little bit of mix-up in the Florida market, particularly some of the people in charge. Looks like they're moving on, so we're going to have a shift in government here, possibly, I hope, a shift in sentiment towards consumers. Certainly have seen an unbelievable amount of anti-consumer legislation, sentiments, this whole "Don't Sign Anything" campaign that the Department of Financial Services rolled out. You know, we talked about in prior episodes about, you know, how I just find it incredibly misleading with regards to how you need to comply with your policy obligations, but then there's this messaging about "Don't sign anything." It's kind of this conundrum, right?
Well, it's really the underlying message is don't get representation, which is unbelievable. Should never happen here in the United States of America.
Was it 50% of citizens' claims are denied, or
54? They were the number one, the highest percentage of denials last year. This year, because of the storms, we'll probably have a couple, a couple other insurers competing for that, amazing title or trophy. But it's unbelievable. Yeah, going back to what you said before, maybe that's the silver lining though. Maybe we get a change here, and someone else sits in that seat, and things start to go in a positive direction. Because at the end of the day, the Florida legislature has to agree because they've done their own study. Nothing that they've done in the past 3 years, as far as all of the anti-consumer or the amendments to the legislation to the statutes here in Florida, none of it has helped premiums. None of it. And they did their own study, which proves that none of it has helped premiums. So, you know, something has got to give. The pendulum has to swing the other way, and maybe, you know, this seat that's up for grabs now. With a person, I was going to say gentleman, but it's too late now. With a person who was not pro-consumer, I don't care what you say. I can give you 50 different reasons why they weren't. Is moving on hopefully, and whoever takes on that seat hopefully will change the dynamic here. Hopefully, will change the course that we're on, because right now it's it's
a
almost,
struggle.
It's almost unbelievable that it's gotten this far, this long. Yeah. There's no counter.
Yeah, where's the results of that fraud investigation and all everything else? We're in the wake of the fraud investigation. They're do this "Don't Sign Anything" campaign. It's like they double down on this idea that your protections don't matter, and we're moving more towards protecting the insurance industry, the companies themselves, and not the consumer. And it's very strange conundrum. And it's like, where was the review of the contracts the policies that were being sold, the shrinkflation, the stripping of coverages, the excessive deductibles, the higher price. Nothing has gotten cheaper. And even if you do see a rate reduction over the next, let's say, 4 to 6 months, remember your coverages aren't going to be the same anymore.
Right.
So it's like you're still paying more for less. You're just paying less for, I don't know how I would actually say that, but like less for less. It's like, you're paying less than you were before,
right?
But paying more than you were otherwise.
But it's not going to be the right dollar amount for the coverage that you have either way, right? Even if you have a reduction, you're right. If you have a reduction, great. That's just less premium, but your coverages don't change. Right. So, okay, that's one step. But they took three. First, they reduced coverages. Then they increased premiums under the guise of a hard market, everything that's going on, and fraud, right? Which, by the way, we live in a country where, and I hate to bring this back to we live in a country, but we live in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, right? That's the way the legal system works. So when you take that and apply it to the insurance industry, insureds should be innocent until they're proven guilty. What I mean is, insurance companies today treat them like they're committing fraud before they even investigate the claim, right? So they don't even give them a chance to say, here's my claim, here's my damage, here's the dollar amount of that damage, my claim, my demand.
We see it so often.
Before they even get out to the property, we're having insurance companies hire outside counsel who point blank send us in writing emails that say they're hired to not adjust the claim. You can't call them the adjuster because it's confusing, right? You have no idea what their role is. They just keep saying that they're there for pre-suit investigations. Pre what suit? There's no suit. If I pay a premium for a policy, my expectation is when I call my insurance company, they're going to come out and tell me what's covered. It's backwards. It's backwards. It's been backwards for a long time, but now especially it's backwards, and they have the weight of the entire strength of the legislature, unfortunately, behind them right now. That's wrong. It's wrong.
Well, it was a tough 2024 for a lot of people out there, a lot of homeowners, business owners. You saw massive devastation in the Carolinas. Florida got walloped one after another on the West Coast. There's a lot to recover from. It's all about community. It's all about giving back. We're happy to be a part of all of it, obviously, at GlobalPro and doing what we can. Big initiative. I applaud you, Matt, and your team, how we put together so much of things that people need. And that's what we need to focus on going into 2025. Carrying with us a positive message, carrying us a positive sentiment. It will get better. Things will get better. The market's going to get better. We also have a change in the president, right? So the markets are going to shift. We all know that is actually probably more important to the insurance companies than what goes on specifically in Florida anyway. So we'll see.
The gentleman who's president now is a real estate guy. So he's going to be more on the side of the insureds.
Yes.
Than
in fact, COVID. We saw in pandemic.
100%.
He came out and flat out said, "I've never seen a policy that excluded coverage for pandemic."
Very directly, very bluntly, right? And so.
Yet they denied all the claims.
Right.
Or most of them.
Of course they did. And now you have forms, even though they didn't have them before. Now they have a form that says that is excluded, even though you didn't have that before. Another whole show about stuff like that, right? On the legal side.
I think we have a few episodes of you and I talking about that. Yeah.
But yeah. So again, maybe let's talk about the positives. We try to always go back. Maybe the silver lining is we have a new regime, whether it's local, state, or federal, right?
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe things turn because right now, again, it's one side has the entire strength in the equation, and they've always had it no matter what because of the contract, right? So unilateral contract of adhesion, it's unilateral. Like they always have the power, and that's how the courts treat situations when they get that far, right? They know who has the power in the situation, but they're using it so openly, and I mean they're emboldened by the legislative changes, right? They don't care. I mean, they put the stuff in writing that I would never believe they would put in writing a couple years ago. I mean, who hires an outside attorney who then tells me that they're there because they're hired for pre-suit investigations? All they did was tell them that they got damage from a hurricane. That's literally all they did. They didn't even inspect the property. They didn't do anything yet. But they're there to investigate pre-suit. Like, what? Like, what?
That makes no sense.
So they're committing fraud before they even, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, Matt, great to have you with me here. The Art of Hip Hop.
Great to be here.
During our week.
1 year ago.
1 year ago, we doing it. We keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's always good to get a little outside the studio and the office and share some screen time with you.
Yeah.
But want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you like us, follow us, subscribe to all of our social media and YouTube channel. It continues to grow, and we continue to give you information you can use We're going to continue updating our website and many other sources of information that you can use. So that's what we're always about at GlobalPro. We've been doing it for more than a decade. So if you liked what you've heard here or seen, make sure you like, subscribe to all of our social media. Again, Matt, again, thanks so much for joining us. And we'll see you next week right here on the Recovery Report Live, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, every single week, same time, same place.